All right. Hello, guys. It is Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Today is February 10th. I can't believe it. It's a nice, gloomy, rainy day here outside of Washington, D.C. But that doesn't matter because I am going to be spending the next probably hour or so hanging out indoors with you guys, hanging out here live. So I really appreciate everyone who comes in and joins us live today. As I always say, the main benefit of these shows being live every Saturday is that we can have interaction and we can chat and we can talk and share our ideas with each other and stuff like that. And of course, I can pop our chat up on the screen so your comments can be seen right here. As you can see, we already have some people in here. I see we have Zondiak said you were waiting for 20 minutes. That's some dedication. I appreciate it. And Shiznuts, you're here. You made it. I know you usually pop in towards the tail end, so I appreciate it. But if anyone else is here and wants to hang out and chat throughout the show, please feel free to comment and we'll pop it up on screen. But of course, like with every show, we do have a theme that we're going to go along with today. And today we're going to be talking about a little bit of how I stay organized, especially when I'm traveling and on the road, and some apps that I use both on my computer and on my other devices to help me stay organized and also stay creative while I'm trying to juggle everything. So as you guys know, I am a YouTuber, but I am also a full-time filmmaker. I'm a business owner, and I work full-time for another production company as well. So I've got a lot of things going on. I got a lot of stuff on my schedule all the time. And it can be a lot to juggle and a lot to keep organized, not just schedule-wise, but in terms of details for particular projects and things that I'm working on, keeping my schedule straight for, my YouTube videos and my live shows and getting everything done in advance that I need for those. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Now, whether you have as many things rattling around in your head as I do, that's okay. I hope you don't, because it's stressful. But I'm sure you guys get busy and overwhelmed and always could use some organization tools. So I figured I'd share a few with you guys today that I use quite often and that I really like. So let's see what we got here. Chisnut says indoors, the best kind of doors. Yeah, same grayish cold weather here. Hello from Brazil. Awesome. I actually went to Brazil a few years ago. I was down in Rio for a project. It was before the Olympics in Rio, and they hadn't started construction yet. But yeah, thank you for joining all the way from Brazil. That's awesome. Yeah, let me know where you guys are joining in from. It's always cool to see where all of our viewers are. And of course, I appreciate you guys hanging out. So like I said, we're gonna talk about a few apps that I use. And when I say apps, it's basically become the common terminology for just any sort of application. We used to call things on the computer programs, but now we call them apps too. So when I say app, I'm not necessarily just referring to mobile stuff, although all of the stuff that I'm going to show you today does coincide with mobile as well. But just so you know, when I say app, I just mean universal application, basically. And so the first one that I want to talk to you guys about is probably the one that I get the most use out of. And I'm sure you guys have heard of it before. A lot of you probably use it, but that is Dropbox. And before we get into this, I just want to say up front, I'm not affiliated with or sponsored by any of these companies that I'm about to share with you. They're just things that I use and things that I pay for on my own that really make my life and my work a lot easier. So the first one is Dropbox. So Dropbox is a fantastic sort of file sharing platform. I use it a lot of the time to share files with clients when I'm working on projects. I'll drop edits of videos in there and they can access them easily and check them out and download files. They can dump in additional files if they have logos and graphics that they want me to use. It's just an easy way to transfer files. But I use it also to basically spread my important files across all of my computers and all of my platforms. So let me show you guys. I'm going to get my Dropbox folder opened up for you guys here. Let's come over to my computer screen here. Sorry guys, got a little sniffly nose. Sorry, it's a little small on screen, but basically what I have here, guys, is I have the Dropbox actual application installed on my machine. And so that gives me the folder. So I put the folder actually here on my desktop. So I have one for my full-time job, and then I have one that I call personal, where I put all sorts of different stuff. So when we go in here, like I said, guys, I have folders for each of my clients. I won't go in there because of my client's privacy, but this is where in subfolders I have all the stuff for my various clients that I'm sharing with them. And then I keep important documents that I always want to have access to. So a lot of you guys probably know, my wife and I just bought a house. We're going to be moving very soon. And so we needed to make sure that we could share all the documents and have all the stuff that we needed available wherever we were. So I have a folder here for my home buying documents. So every single document that we got is organized within that folder. And that means that I could share it with my wife. And even if we were out at a, wherever we may be, and we needed some information, we could pull up all these documents on our phones because we have Dropbox on our phones as well. So that made it really, really easy. But one of the biggest things, see, I have stuff for my NAB 2018 trip in here, if I ever want to check information on that on my phone. But one of the main things that I do is I use this for when I'm producing videos on the road. So I travel quite a bit for work. I'm actually heading to New Orleans on Monday for work, and I don't want my creation to stop, meaning my YouTube stuff. So if I need to edit a video on the road, I need to make sure that I have access to all of my assets, like my music, my intro video, and all those graphics and stuff like that. And now with the live shows too, I have, thumbnails, I have all sorts of stuff that I need to have access to. So I keep that all in Dropbox. So here I have just a YouTube folder here. And I have my assets in here. So I have my intro video stuff. I have music. I have an old subscribe graphic. Here's some other graphics. For my site, for the live streams, I have OBS profiles. If I need to install OBS on like another computer to do a live stream, I have my profile in here so I can immediately boot up OBS, import my profile, and it's just like, it works exactly the way I have my OBS set up here at home. I have all of my thumbnails for different shows. I also have templates for creating these. So if I'm gone for a long period of time and I need to create a new template for a thumbnail, I have the templates in here and I can do all that. I won't go into the future thumbnails folder and spoil what I have planned, but I've got a new series that I'm working on for the channel. Maybe some of you guys saw some of that teased on Twitter the other day. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Bart Johnson Productions, if you're not, and you'll see that post there. But yeah, I've got stuff in here for the graphics tests that I'm working on for the logo and the concepts and all that kind of stuff. So that's in here, and that means that this is available on any computer. So when I take my laptop to go traveling, I have it synced to this same folder, and all of these files are available to me, and I don't have to worry like, oh, I forgot a file, I can't edit this until I get back home. I have everything in there. Another nice thing that I keep in here is I keep presets, some of my favorite presets that I've created for Adobe Media Encoder. And if you guys want to get these presets, actually go to bartjohnsonproductions.com/downloads. I don't really promote this very much, but I have a lot of free stuff on there for you guys, so you should go check that out. And some of these presets that I've created for Adobe Media Encoder are on there. But so if I'm on a machine that doesn't have the presets that I need, I can just log into Dropbox, get my presets, no problem. Another big thing, I've done a show about all the LUTs that I have. I'll put a card up for you guys about that show if you want to go and check that out. But I keep a copy of all of my LUTs categorized in Dropbox. So any machine that I have Dropbox on has all of the LUTs that I have, because the files are so tiny that they don't take up any space. So Dropbox is an amazing resource, not just for sharing between other people, but also for synchronizing your files, your important files, across multiple computers and even to your mobile devices. I mean, the fact that at any time we can pull up any of our home buying documents and anything that we need right here on our phones is really important. You know, maybe we need an account number that's like 27 digits long, and there's no way we know that. We can go in and pull up the PDF, and we're good to go. So Dropbox does have a free account. I believe it used to be, it might still be a 2 gigabyte limit. But if you're storing, you know, documents and stuff like that, it's not going to take up a ton of space. And then of course you can get more professional levels. I think I pay $10 a month for Dropbox, and I have tons and tons of storage. I dump tons and tons of video files in here for all my clients, and all of that. So let's see what we got going on here real quick. I see, I'm gonna go ahead and look on here because we got a lot of chat happening. Shiznut's, he's in Vienna, Austria, and Frankfurt, Germany next week. Very cool. Let's see here. Sonny says, just a question, is this stream organizing on mobile or all? So like I said, it's cross-platform, so it's not specifically mobile, but all of these things interact with mobile, and you'll see what I mean, because it basically gives me access to everything that I need, no matter what screen I'm in front of, whether it be my home computer, whether it be my phone, whether it be my iPad, whether it be my laptop when I'm on the road in a hotel somewhere. So it's mobile in that sense, but let's see here. Shiznut says, okay, you guys are talking a little bit back and forth. Let's see here. Shiznut says, you mean the apps. Dropbox is multi-platform. So yeah, Dropbox works on Mac, it works on PC, and it really is a great resource. It's a great file sharing tool. And like I said, I use it to make sure that no matter where I am and no matter what machine I'm working with, I have my important documents, I have my important assets for YouTube videos and all that stuff. I have it. And I don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't bring the drive that has those files. There's nothing I can do. Nope. It's all right there in the cloud. Kind of amazing. Trevor is here. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining, buddy. I always appreciate seeing you in the stream there. Zoniac says, yeah, I meant like the whole stream is dedicated to mobile. You know, that was a dumb question. There are no dumb questions, man. Thank you for asking. And he says he'll be back. Awesome. So yeah, so the first one there is Dropbox. I think pretty much everyone has heard of Dropbox, but if you haven't, make sure to go ahead and check that out. Like I said, I do believe they have a free level that allows you up to like 2 gigabytes or something like that. And then if you need more, like I said, I pay $10 a month. Pretty affordable, especially for as much use as I get out of it. And like I said, I also use it as the main delivery system for files to and from my clients, which they really appreciate that everything is so streamlined and they can just go and I send them a link and the video is there and they're good to go. So that is Dropbox. Now, the next application that I want to share with you guys is one that is sort of a backup. If I did forget to put something in Dropbox that I desperately need, and I am on the other side of the country and I absolutely need this file, and I didn't put it in the Dropbox, you know, maybe I had too much going on, which is commonly the case. What am I going to do? So this next app that I want to show you guys, come over to the screen, let's close Dropbox here. This next app is down here and it's hidden, but it is actually called Screens. And this is Screens 4 to be specific. But you know, it doesn't really look like much, and that's because the majority of its uses are actually on your mobile devices. So what Screens 4 does is you install this on your system. Again, I'm using Mac, so I'm not sure if it's available for PC, but you install this on your system, and what it allows you to do is set up an address, you know, a digital address for your computer. So I have Bart Johnson's iMac here, and what it does is then when you install the corresponding app on your phone, you can actually remotely access and control your computer over the internet. So Screens 4 runs in the background. You know, you don't have to worry about having it up. You just set it, it opens up when your computer boots up and all that. And then anytime you can remote in and get access from the app on your phone, which is awesome. So what that means and how I will use it is I can go in and use the app, and all of a sudden this screen on my phone becomes the screen of my computer at home. And I can drag and go through and do everything that I could do as if I were sitting at the computer. And I can take that file that I forgot and I can drag and drop it into my Dropbox and then wait a little bit for it to upload, and then boom, I have access to that file now. So Screens, that's how I use it. It's, you know, it seems something so simple, but the ability to remotely access your home computer when you're away can have a lot of different advantages. But the one that I have found the most advantageous is that when I forget something, I just need to get in there and I need to drag it and drop it into the Dropbox, and then boom, I have my file digitally available from anywhere in the world, which is pretty awesome. So let's see here. New Legend Pictures, hello, says, I use Google Chrome's remote desktop. Yeah, so I know there's a lot of different solutions for this. I used to have an app called Desktop Connect. I actually still have it installed on my system, but it hasn't been updated in years. It was like one of the first things that did this back on, like, you know, the iPhone 3G or something like that. Maybe it was the iPhone 4, but it hasn't been updated in a long while, so I went looking for a new, you know, a little bit more reliable solution. And Screens, I found, is not only reliable, but their interface in the phone app is fantastic. Sometimes it's a little tricky to, you know, click and double click and drag and do stuff just with a touch screen when usually you have a mouse and a keyboard and all sorts of other peripherals to control your computer. But they have a really slick interface for their iOS app. And they make it really easy to be able to do that, to remotely get into my computer, move the files around, drop what I need in the Dropbox, and then boom, I have it. So Screens is another one that I suggest you guys go ahead and look up. And once again, I'm not affiliated with or sponsored by the company that makes Screens, but I just really like the software. And I suggest you go ahead and check it out. Let's see what else we got here. Just nuts. For remote access, I used to use TeamViewer. Yeah, I've heard of TeamViewer. So again, like I said, there's a lot of different options out there. So if Screens isn't necessarily for you, this particular application that I'm using, there are tons and tons of alternatives out there, but you might want to look into some sort of remote desktop client. And that's what it is. It's a remote desktop, because you never know when you're going to need access to your home computer, and you might be far, far away. So there you go. Screens or any other remote desktop application is extremely useful to cover my butt if I don't put something in that Dropbox that is important. So let's see here. We are moving right along today, guys, which is good. So we're going to get a little bit into organization now. So we covered Dropbox, and we covered having remote access to sort of help with Dropbox if I forget something. But now we're going to get into how I sort of organize my life and my YouTube work and all sorts of other stuff. And for that, I use an application called Trello. So this is Trello. They do have just a web-based interface too, so you can go to Trello.com and check that out. It is free, and it is an organizational app. So here is the application. I opted to install the actual application on my computer as opposed to just going to the website every time. And I also have the Trello app on my phone and on my iPad. So it's available across platform, which is really important. And so what it does is it allows you to organize stuff based on what they call boards. So as you can see here, I have to-do lists, which has all the breakdowns of the different things that I have to do. I have my YouTube live schedule. Yes, I do have these things planned out well in advance and have all that information in here with the dates and notes and stuff like that. I'm not going to go in here because I don't want to show you guys like the next month's worth of plans. Sorry. And also I just have one called YouTube videos, and in here are all of my brainstormed ideas for YouTube videos, like pre-recorded videos and stuff. And I organize them in there. But let me show you guys a little bit about how this works, and I'm just going to create a new board. So let's just let's call this one YouTube example. So you can use this with teams and creating a team and letting a lot of people access it and share ideas and update information and stuff. But it works great just for your personal use as well. So let's create that board right there. Okay, so in here now you see we have where we can add a list. So let's just do example list. So boop, there we go. So we're on our board, they call them boards, called YouTube example. And then you can create underneath that board various lists. So let's say this would be like, you know, honey-do list, like stuff that my wife wants me to do or something like that. Then underneath that you can add cards. So what's one of the things that my wife wants me to do? Let's say it's to take out the trash, right? So I add that in there. And so as you can see, it has a nice graphical layout and allows you to lay all of this stuff out. Now in here, if you go into it, you can get really, really detailed. So you can add different members, you can do labels, you can add a checklist to this. So if there were like steps for, you know, what I had to do to take out the trash, you know, it's a pretty simple task. But if it were, say this was a project that you were working on or something like that, you can add a checklist of all the different things that you need to do, and that'll be in there. You can add file attachments. So again, if you were working on a project, you could add an attachment in there, and then you can leave comments along the way. And if you have different members accessing this, you can go ahead and you'll have a stream of comments on this project. You can add a due date, so when it'll have to be done by, and you can do all of this all within here. And it's really, really customizable, and I have barely even scratched the surface of this, if I'm being honest, in the way that I use it. But again, the best thing is that once I do all this work on here and get everything organized, it's also instantly available on my phone, on my iPad, and everywhere that I have the Trello app installed. So I can add stuff, I can cross stuff off, I can say that stuff is completed, I can modify stuff, I can do anything from any device, and that is extremely important. You know, I need this information to be available to me wherever I am and whatever I'm doing. Say I'm, you know, I'm out somewhere and all of a sudden a fantastic idea for a YouTube video pops into my head. Boom, bust open the Trello app on my phone, add it into my my YouTube videos, the ideas list that I have, and there it is. I come back home, open up the app on my computer, and it's there. They're perfectly synchronized instantaneously. And then if I had other collaborators, I could invite them to it, and you can get really complex with it, or you can keep it really simple. It's free. I really recommend it. I suggest you guys go check it out. Trello.com, Trello.com. I'll put links to all this stuff down in the description below, guys. Sorry about the fire trucks across the street. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so Trello is great for staying organized, and also for, like I said, if a light bulb goes off over my head and I have an idea, I can pop it in here and know that I haven't lost it. You know, if I keep a running sheet of notes on my phone, you know, I don't tend to look at those very much. You know, it's easier for me to just dump it all into one application where I go and keep everything organized. And that for me is Trello. And I'm always finding new ways to use it, and they're adding new functionality and stuff like that. Because when you first open it, it looks so simple that it's almost intimidating and confusing. But once you get the hang of it and customize the way you like to use it, it's really great. So let's see what we got going on in the chat here. So Shishnath says, I know what to do when, but I'm an expert procrastinator. Yeah, unfortunately, none of these apps will help you with procrastination, but they do help you stay organized so you can see your to-do list, but it doesn't mean you're going to do it. But one thing I do find that's really helpful for this is that due date function. So, due date. All right, so, all right, say this is due today by 2 p.m., okay? So let's save that. All right, so then it gives me a heads up, and it even does right here, changes color and tells me, hey, this needs to be done soon. So adding due dates to things, I find really does get me to accomplish them and get them taken off the list. Like, oh, take out that trash before, before my wife comes home or something like that. But with projects as well, I add due dates for, all right, I want to have this video done by this date. I want to have this one done by this date. And it really helps me, not procrastinate as much, because I can be pretty guilty of that as well. Oh, I just realized that entire time I did not show you guys anything that I was doing, but here you go. What I did was added a due date to this, and then it shows up even in here. It shows me that it's due here. So when it's farther off, it's green. When it's the day of, it goes yellow, and then when it's beyond, it goes red. But I do find that very helpful for eliminating procrastination, at least for me. So maybe it'll help you guys too. And Chisnut says, yeah, true, own deadlines really do help. I do find that setting deadlines is extremely important, even if there aren't any real deadlines for it. I'm under no deadlines to make YouTube videos. There's no consequences. I mean, yeah, my channel won't do well and people will be like, well, what's he doing? But, it's important for me to schedule things out and do that because it gets me going. Of course, YouTube is a bad example because I would never stop making those because I love doing them. But, it's that kind of thing. Setting deadlines for yourself is extremely important and very helpful. So Trello is something that I suggest you guys go ahead and check out. What do we got here? Trevor says, just curious, did you ever try one of the organization systems like Franklin Planner? What's Franklin Planner? I'm not familiar with that. So short answer is no, I didn't. But I'll have to look into that because I know there's plenty of tools and resources out there for staying organized and all that. I just like these particular ones because obviously everything's digital, and the fact that everything is instantly synced across all of my devices is huge for me because really a third of the year, if not more, I'm on the road. So while it'd be great to have everything local on my machine, the fact of the matter is I need access to everything no matter where I am. And these apps like Dropbox and Screens and Trello really help me to do that, which is cool. So we're going to move on to our next app, another one that you guys are probably familiar with, and that is Evernote. So Evernote, the best way I can sort of describe it to you is it's sort of like a digital, just like notepad. And so you can use it in any way. It's another one that's really, really flexible where you can use it in any way that you see fit. But I'm going to show you guys how I use it. Here we go. So this is Evernote. Again, it is available just through the web, but I did opt to install the dedicated application on my computer. And so what it does is you create these notebooks, literal, they're called notebooks, and then you create notes within them. And so what I do is I do use this, I create notebooks to keep a lot of my work stuff and a lot of my YouTube stuff organized in a little bit more detail than I can do on Trello. And I'll show you what I mean by that. But another good thing is that I can dump absolutely anything in here from the web just with a click of a button. If there's an article that I like or something that I want to read or something that I want to explore, I can dump that in here. So I have one that I've literally just called Film Stuff. And if we go in here, I've got different stuff. So here's a vlog PDF that I've dumped in there. This is an article that I wanted to read, full frame versus crop sensors, understanding crop factor. So this was some stuff that I was looking into and found some fantastic articles on, and dumped them in here just real quick. And then this is something that I actually made after doing that research. This was my full frame to micro four thirds focal length conversion with GH5 IBIS manual input settings. Holy crud, that's a long name. But I created this entire cheat sheet in here and made it available. And actually there's a video paired with this, so if you guys are interested in checking this out, if you've ever wanted to know what focal lengths to input on the IBIS for the GH5, I'll put a card and a link in the description below as well to the video that features this. And this is also available on that bartjohnsonproductions.com/downloads page. It's one of the free things that I put up there if you guys are interested. But anyway, so I can put all sorts of stuff in here, articles from the web, PDF documents, whatever I want. So let's go back to my notebooks. But in terms of, staying organized, so here we go. I've got WebsEdge is the company that I work for, fumbling my words, let's get a drink of water here. The company that I work for full time. And so I produce various projects for them. So last year I had 4 projects here for a conference called ICMA, International City and Managers Association. And so if I open this up, I'll show you what I got. So I have these sheets that I made to help me stay organized for each of these projects that I was doing. So I did City of Taylor, Texas, Borough of State College, Pennsylvania, Forney, Texas, and Terrell, Texas, where Jamie Foxx is from, actually. But so I organized all this stuff and made myself these lists. So I have all my pre-production stuff with checkboxes that I can go through, production stuff, post-production, delivery, so after the fact, and then here we go. Here is attached, documents that were with it. So there was the sales brief with all their information and whatnot. All that I was able to dump in one place for each of these projects and organize them that way and work my way through it. And so that really helped me to keep everything in one place, to know where each project was at, because all of these were running simultaneously, and it was a lot to keep organized. And Evernote allowed me to do that, and then of course also allows me to pull it up on my phone, because I had the app for that as well. So meaning I could pull up any of these documents and anything that I needed there to keep everything organized, which is fantastic. Another thing, let me show you guys, this is how I use it for YouTube videos. So let's see here. Okay, so I do use this as well to sort of structure my YouTube videos sometimes. And so what I did is I created a template. So you can create templates that you can then just duplicate and use for any of your projects. So each of those projects I just showed you have a template that's in this folder. But if I go into templates, so here's that template for any projects that I'm doing for work, and I can just duplicate it and name it and start inputting information. But this is one that I created for YouTube videos. So it helps me sort of flush out my ideas a little bit better. So here we go. If I have a video idea, I input it here. Just some brainstorm bullet point ideas for the video would go in here. A script, if I use one. I don't usually a lot of the time, but I have once or twice. So if there is something like that, I'll put it in here. And then I create myself a shot list, my narration, maybe reshoots of the narration. I can make notes, and then I can input here all of the particular shots that I know that I want to get. So like maybe I'm reviewing a product and I know I want to get a close-up of a certain part of it and a wide shot of something, and I want to get a shot of it doing something. I would add all those into here. Any images, image files, I can literally just attach them right in here and pull them when I'm making the video. Any external links that I want to link to that are relevant, I can put in here. And then even down here for when it goes up onto YouTube, I can draft my title for the video. I can type out my description. I can do a list of tags. I can do music credits, which is important. I like to let people know where I find my music. And I can drag and drop a thumbnail file into here so that when the video is actually done, I already have all of that information ready and I can just pull it right out of this document and put it right into YouTube so that I'm not sitting there doing a whole bunch of typing and creation when the video is done. I have all that done in advance. And all of this you can create and customize and do whatever you want, all within Evernote. So Evernote's another one where there's a million different ways that you can use it, and you can use it in the way that works best for you, but this is how I use it. Sort of that deeper level of organization than something like Trello. Trello is sort of the big picture, like finish this project by this date, and this is where I keep all of the organized information for said project. You can do it in Trello as well, but I find that Evernote gives me a lot more flexibility to lay it out the way that I like and the way that I like to work. So let's see what we've got in here, guys. Let's see, where are we? Okay, so where we left off. Kyle Markham says, are you going to NAB this year? Yes, I am. I am all booked and I am ready to go. I'm really excited about going to NAB. Hopefully this will be a good year. But yeah, I will be there from the 8th until the 12th of April. And I'll have more information on that coming down the pike because of course I'll have some video content coming from that, but stay tuned for that. Trevor says, talking about the Franklin Planner, a comprehensive system mostly used by business executives. It's calendar-based and uses the Franklin Planner with special pages for different goals and tasks. It allows users to create tasks around broad-level goals broken down into manageable pieces. It's a very successful system. Very cool. I'll have to check that out and look that up. That seems tried and true and proven. So who knows, maybe it'll end up being a better system than what I have right now, but I will look into that. Thanks for sharing that with everyone. So Franklin Planner, very cool. Shiznan says hardware, like pen and paper, it seems. So I am still a fan of pen and paper. I do have notes in front of me right now, and I do jot stuff down. But you know, keeping everything digital and accessible, like if I go somewhere and I need to know what's on this, I don't have it. So going digital and keeping these things synced across all of my systems and all of my devices makes life so much easier for me, and helps keep my head straight and I don't go crazy trying to juggle all these different things that I do. Let's see here. Life Down Under, hi from Australia. That is awesome. Thank you for joining us. It must be, wow, it's got to be late/early morning down there right now. Australia is a place that I would love to visit, but haven't had the opportunity to yet. But I really appreciate you tuning in. Drew, I'm late. No worries, man. Thank you for tuning in. It's always good to see you in here. I'm glad to see you made it. And let's see here. Let's see here. Shiznut says, were you out shooting? What are you guys in the comments section shooting with anyways? Okay, so he's starting a conversation amongst you guys. That's awesome. I'm all for it. But we are going to continue moving along, and we're going to get to, I think, my final app that I use here. So, quick recap. Dropbox allows me to have important files available no matter what computer or device I'm sitting in front of. Screens allows me to remotely access my machine from anywhere on my mobile devices so that I can put more files into Dropbox if I forgot them. At least that's my most common use for the remote desktop access. Trello is an amazing, digital board, if you will, that allows you to organize stuff and to-do lists and all that, and can even allow you to collaborate with team members. And then Evernote is basically my digital notepad for dumping information into and for organizing stuff and for structuring checklists and all that kind of stuff. So that's how I use those. So we've covered 4 apps so far. The last one I have been absolutely loving, and it actually helps me to manage my social media accounts. So if you guys aren't subscribed yet, here's the time where I want you to go and find me. But I am on Instagram, I am on Twitter, I am on Facebook, and obviously I am also on YouTube, all under the name Bart Johnson Productions. Sometimes it's abbreviated Bart Johnson Prod because they don't have enough characters. But anyway, go find me on all those because I do try and stay active on each of those. And recently, I always found it was just such a pain to try and maintain all these different accounts. I was like, man, there's just so much to keep track of, but I want to stay up to date on all of them. Granted, I don't do the best job staying up to date on all of them, but I try. And another thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to advertise these shows. So I wanted to make people who follow me on Facebook aware when I was going live. And I wanted to make people who follow me on Twitter aware when I was going live. And I wanted to make people who follow me on Instagram aware when I was going live. But that would mean sitting down and logging into each of those particular platforms, composing, you know, a post and then posting it all simultaneously while I'm trying to get this show set up. And it was just too much. But then I found the solution. Let me get it pulled up here. This is a fantastic free app called Buffer, Buffer. And what Buffer does, this is the web interface. So this one is a website. They do have an app for your phones, but there is no dedicated app that I know of for the computer. But what Buffer does is Buffer allows you to manage posts to all of your social media accounts. So here what I have is I have my Twitter, I have my Facebook, and I have my Instagram here. And what you can see is you can go into any of these and you can go ahead and compose, you can compose posts, and then you can schedule when they're gonna go, and you can add all sorts of stuff. So look, if I click here, and now I'm gonna be composing a post for Facebook, I can add an image or video and just add my text, but say, well, I want that to go to Twitter as well, no problem. Click Twitter as well, and now it's going to both of the platforms, and you can go ahead and schedule it. Instagram is an interesting one because, as you know, Instagram is mobile based. So here I could do all three. But so what it'll do is it will automatically post to your Facebook and to your Twitter without you having to do a thing. But then when it's time for your Instagram post, what it'll do is it pops up a notification on your phone and says you have an Instagram post ready. You tap on it, it automatically copies all the text, you don't have to do anything, and then you just hit go to Instagram. It brings the photo over, it brings you up just like you're making a regular Instagram post. You just paste the text in because it already copied all the tags and everything you've already put in there, all the hashtags, and then you just post. It takes like 10 seconds to do a pre-composed Instagram post and get that sent out. So Instagram does still have to come from your phone, but everything else can go right through Buffer without having to log into Facebook or do anything else. So it's really, really nice. And so here you go, guys. As you can see, here's my Facebook. We won't be having a live show next Saturday, so I have a post ready to go up at 1 p.m. Eastern time next Saturday, just letting everybody know that we won't be having a live show. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later. And then I have 2 posts for the next live show. You'll get a little teaser here as to what it's going to be. But so Saturday the 24th is when that is. So I have a post that goes out at noon, an hour ahead of time, and then I have another post that goes out 15 minutes before. And so I'm able to pre-compose these and get them ready so I don't have to worry about it. So same thing with my Twitter. We've got the same things. I've got it up. Instagram, I don't have anything in there right now. But the other nice thing is it shows you stuff that's gone out. So as you can see right here, today at 12:01 p.m. I did my Instagram post for this particular show, and it went out. And it gives you analytics on all of your posts, not just ones that come from Buffer. It connects to all your accounts and gives you all the analytics and lets you see, and you can break them all down. But yeah, there's a lot of analytics you can get. And so what that was that actually just popped up is I mentioned to you guys that this is free. So it's free for a single user to have multiple social media accounts. If you have multiple usernames on a single account and want to manage, like, say, a few Instagram accounts or a few Facebook accounts, then you're going to have to upgrade to one of their paid plans. But for free, you know, I only have one Twitter account. I only have one Facebook page. I only have one Instagram account. And so I can add all of those and it's completely free. And so it's just fantastic to just sit down and hammer out a whole bunch of these posts and stuff, get them all scheduled, and then I don't have to worry about it. It also allows you to really quickly, at the touch of a button, share articles and stories and stuff to all of your social media feeds so that you can keep people updated with the stuff that you're interested in. That's something I haven't been quite as good at, but I need to get better at doing that and keeping my social media being more than just, you know, a notification for this show, but really engage a bit more. But I'm going to work on that. But Buffer is an amazing tool for doing that. So I don't know, have any of you guys ever heard of Buffer? Because when I found out about it, I was just, it makes such a big difference if you're trying to do so much. Let's see here. Zontiak is back. Welcome back. The only thing, something smart related organizational I have is that my Gmail automatically senses a flight ticket in my mailbox and reminds me to catch my flight. Well, that's an important thing there. Trevor says, I've fallen off pretty badly on Instagram this year. It takes so much work to maintain. I got to get back into it. Yeah, and especially if you're doing multiple accounts on social media, you know, across various platforms, it can be a lot to try and keep track of, and Buffer has made this so simple for me. I can sit down. I usually will do it actually right after the show finishes. I will sit down and draft up all of the posts for the next show, so I don't have to worry about it for a week. Now, for demonstration purposes today, I drafted them up early so that my, you know, Buffer feed wouldn't be empty when I shared this with you guys. But yeah, it's really cool to be able to do that. Shizan says, I'm practically on no social media whatsoever. Guess the Kardashian generation has prevented me from looking into it. Yeah, you know, YouTube is my primary platform. Facebook I do admittedly use personally, but then I also do have my Bart Johnson Productions page, which I encourage you to go and like, please. And so I've been starting to put a little bit more effort into that because when I first started, I used it as basically just like, this is the homepage of my business. You know, didn't see much use beyond that. But I've really tried to be more social with it and get more on there, including the content from these shows and whatnot. But yeah, YouTube is my primary platform, and I use the other systems to try and push people mainly towards this. But Instagram is one that I just started within the past year, actually just after NAB of 2017, because my friends were really pushing me, saying that I should really be on Instagram, because every time that we would get together and hang out, we were testing some sort of new camera. So, you know, we were testing the Ursa Mini 4.6. I was one of the first people to have it, and we were out there shooting with that, and he showed me, you know, he's like, I tag, you know, Ursa Mini 4.6 on this, and he's like, and the post just blows up through the roof. So quickly, and I was like, interesting. So then the following year, you know, 2017, I was one of the first to have the GH5, and we were doing some anamorphic shooting with the GH5 in Vegas, and he took some photos and did a post, and you know, hashtag anamorphic, hashtag Panasonic GH5, all that kind of stuff. And that one blew up. And so finally I was like, okay, maybe I should do this. Maybe I do have some content that people are actually interested in what I'm doing. I just never thought that, you know, sharing what I was doing was going to be interesting to people, but I suppose it was. So Instagram, that's sort of the rundown of how I got into Instagram. And now I do admittedly like it. And I'm going to try and do a lot more of it. But make sure to follow me on Instagram, guys. I appreciate that. Let's see what we got going on here. Fleming says, have Buffer installed, but I never used it. Does it cover LinkedIn as well? You know, that's a good question. Let's take a look at what accounts it does cover. I have LinkedIn, but I really haven't used it very much. Oh, right there. LinkedIn is right there in the thing. So let's see here. These are the accounts. So upgrade to awesome to connect to 10 social networks at once. Upgrade to awesome is just one of their next tiers. But yeah, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Plus, good Lord, Google Plus, Instagram, and Pinterest. It looks like they've got in there. And it says upgrade to connect to 10 social networks. So my guess is they've got a lot more, but this is probably what you get for the free version. So I would definitely go ahead and check this out. And like everything else that I've had on here, guys, Buffer has an app on my phone. So I don't have to get to the computer to compose my stuff. You know, if I'm out on the road and I want to just like compose my, you know, say an advertisement that I'm going to be going live or a notification that I'm going to be going live. I don't like to call them advertisements. The nice thing is I can do it all from my phone because I can go into Buffer, I can open the app, I can go ahead and compose my stuff, but I want to put an image on it, right? Well, that's where Dropbox comes in. I have all of my thumbnails for my shows and templates for the thumbnails if I want to make a new one right in Dropbox. So I go, take it from Dropbox, send it right to the Buffer app, put it in there, boom, I've made a complete post right there on my phone. No computer needed, no nothing like that. And it's, yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example of all those apps working in conjunction with one another, so that I can get stuff done no matter where I am. So yeah, the Buffer app looks exactly as you would expect. It looks exactly like the interface on here, but it has all the posts, it has when they're scheduled, and yeah, there you go. So really, really cool. And the fact that it's free, you know, I'm not going super advanced with it and managing multiple things and all that. But the fact that it's free is awesome. But let's see here. Trevor says, I never got a lot of traction in LinkedIn for creative people. I have tons there for general business. Yeah, I have LinkedIn, but I do find that LinkedIn is much more of a professional and business network. Maybe it's changed. I know there are a lot of people on it. A lot of people actually blog on it as well. But yeah, it's not it's not one of the first ones you think of when you think of social media necessarily. I will use it if I'm working with like a client or I'm going to be interviewing somebody. I can look them up on there, see some of their credentials, see some of their background, so that I'm a little bit more educated about who I'm working with and who I'm dealing with. And stuff like that. And that's usually in much more professional settings and stuff like that. You know, I'm not posting to LinkedIn, you know, tour my small studio space on YouTube in 15 minutes. Yeah, I don't put that kind of stuff up on LinkedIn. So there we go. All right, guys. So there we go. There's 5 apps that I use to help keep my life, my work, my world from spinning out of control and going crazy with all the stuff that I try and juggle. Dropbox to make sure I have files no matter where I am. Screens to make sure I have remote access to my home system no matter where I am. Trello to help me keep sort of to-do lists and schedules organized. Evernote for me to pour ideas into and even deeper structure projects and stuff like that. And then Buffer to help manage my social media interaction and schedules and stuff like that. So hopefully this helped you guys out. Hopefully there was something in there that you did not know about that you can go and check out and see how it works for you. And hopefully it'll make your life a little bit easier and a little bit more organized. So yeah, let's see if we got anything else here. What do you guys use to network, like Stage 32? Okay, so you're talking about networking with other filmmakers and stuff like that. I actually have a show about that. I did a live show on the Aperture Facebook page, I believe that was. But I do have the replay of it here on the channel. I will put a card and a link down in the description for you guys so that you can go ahead and check that out. It has some resources for where to network with filmmakers, no matter where you live. So yeah, that should be a helpful video. But speaking of videos, this is a happy and kind of sad day because this is the last live show and probably the last recorded video even that will happen in this space. In this studio, in this room. I know I did a studio tour of it all just last Saturday with you guys. Make sure to go ahead and check that out. I'll put a card up there if I can. But I am moving. We are moving on February 23rd. And we will be in a new house, which means I get a new office space, I get a new studio space, and I get to start completely over and customize it and rebuild it. So this is going to be the last time that you guys are going to see everything looking like this. So like I said, very exciting and very sad kind of at the same time, because I've had this set up for so long. And it has treated me pretty good, but I'm ready to stretch out and have a little bit more space, so that will be cool. Next week, we will not have a show because I am traveling to New Orleans on Monday, and I am going to be there for over a week. So I am going to be working. Yes, Mardi Gras is on Tuesday, but I am down there for work. So unfortunately, I won't be able to do a show on Saturday, next Saturday. But we will be picking up on the 24th, Saturday at 1 p.m. And we are going to check out the new house and the new studio space. So this is an actual photo of the area where I will be building my new YouTube studio. But I am going to invite you guys into the new house with me, and we're going to do a little tour of my new office space, my new gear storage space, and that new studio space that I'm going to be setting up. Obviously, everything will not be set up and ready because we will have only moved in the day before, so everything will probably be boxes and so forth. But I will share with you guys my plans for what I would like to do with it and what I'm thinking about doing, and maybe get some ideas from you guys. So make sure to join me next Saturday, Saturday, February 24th. At 1 p.m. Eastern Time to tour the brand new house and the brand new studio space. So that'll be awesome. Let's see here. Shizit says, oh no, big changes. Yes, big changes, but big good changes. It's going to be awesome. We are taking everything that is in this room. This room sort of has a triple purpose. It is my edit suite / live stream spot. It is, when I face the other way and put a camera over there, my YouTube recording studio. And this entire wall off to my side is floor-to-ceiling equipment shelves, so it is my equipment storage as well. Again, if you guys saw last week's show, I have a tour of it, and you can see how small and compact the space is that I'm in. But basically, each of those setups is going to get its own dedicated space. So the edit suite / live streaming setup is going to have its own room. The equipment storage is going to have its own room. The YouTube recording studio is no longer going to be me just sitting in front of my computer screens at my desk. I'm going to actually set up a true studio that is going to allow me to crank out videos, hopefully of higher quality and quicker and more regularly for you guys. So I'm excited about it. Change is good, and I'm really, really excited about this. Let's see here. She says, foamy walls and all. Okay. And she says, and man cave. Yeah, I thought about that. I realized, hang on. Talking too much, getting excited. I realized that I didn't really create myself a man cave in the traditional sense, big screen TV and all that kind of stuff. I think my man cave is my YouTube studio. So that'll be my space. So that'll be pretty cool. I don't think I could ask my wife to take over yet another room and turn it into a man cave, because I'm already taking 3 rooms out of the new house. But it's gonna be awesome. So we are coming up right about on that hour mark, guys, here. So that means I'm going to close out this show, and we are going to say goodbye to this studio setup. All of this is coming down literally right after this show ends. I'm going to start pulling stuff off the walls and boxing it up and getting it ready. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. But I appreciate you guys tuning in live as always. I appreciate all you guys hanging out in the chat here. That's fantastic. Always good to hang out with you guys live. Love doing these shows. And like I said, I'll miss you guys next week while I'm in New Orleans, but we will be back on the 24th at 1 p.m. So I hope you guys join me then. Let's real quick check out the chat, and then I'm going to say goodbye and we'll move on. So let's see here. Trevor says, word of advice, hire people to move your stuff. Moving things and doing all the tasks to get the house set up is too much. It'll kill you. Yeah, we are doing it ourselves, but we do have a lot of help. We're not hiring anybody, but we have recruited a small army to help us, at least with moving the stuff. So that'll be good. And once we're moved in, my wife has everything already laid out where all the furniture is going and all that. She's an interior designer, so she's got, you know, CAD drawings that she's already done of everything. So she'll take care of that, and I'm handling the AV and the nerdy guy stuff is basically where we're gonna divvy it up. She just says, Photo Joseph and Caleb Pike sort of did some studio setups recently. Curious to see how yours will turn out. Yes, I have watched Caleb's studio setup many times. I love Caleb's channel, and I was there for Photo Joseph redoing all of his stuff, and I have pulled some ideas for my studio setup from both of their channels, as well as from numerous other people whose setups I really admire on YouTube. So hopefully I'm getting a little bit of the best of a bunch of channels, so it should be good. Shizit says, take it easy. Good luck and hard work next couple of weeks. Exciting times. Keep killing it. Thank you very much, guys. Shiznut, I appreciate all that, and I appreciate all of you guys. So wish me luck. We're going to box everything up, and I will see you guys on the 24th in a brand new place. All right, guys, take care of yourselves, and feel free to get in touch with me anytime you want on social media. You know where to find me, guys. All right, take care.